All right, well, good morning, everyone. We are ready to get started, and we're so glad. Well, we know that, there's a million and one different places. So we're so glad that you chose to spend it with us, because it's going to be a great morning. And my favorite recent life motto is smile more, worry less, and do something you're passionate about. And I know that probably all of you are passionate about nutrition or helping others, or maybe learning. And so if that's the case, you're in the right place this morning. And so without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to our host, Mr. Bob Pearson.
Okay. So nice to have a professional MC in the house. Daniel's from a great entertaining family, and so good to have everyone here and people all over the country. And what we're going to do, just tell you our agenda today. We're going to open in prayer briefly, and then we will have, I'll introduce Alan and Nicole. And when Alan and Nicole are finished, some of you may want to drop off, because that's why we pitched this meeting so much, because they're extraordinary talent and ability and track record. So some of you are on the call just for that reason. So if you want to drop off, then you can. Or if you want to stay on, we're going to proceed with our normal BOC activities of sharing positive, exciting, upbeat wins, and doing recognition, and then some announcements that we have. So you're welcome to stay on for the rest of the meeting if you'd like. And the first person that's going to open, in prayer is from Texas, and Gloria has been in our team. I met her through Steffi Beckett and Mary Lou Stevenson, those two are down in Austin, Texas. And she joined at a meeting presentation we did, and I think what helped sell her big time, I gave her a CD of Don Lawson, and after she heard the CD, she said she wanted to do the business, and that was in February. So that's a word of wisdom to all of us, the power and impact of Don Lawson, sharing that. And then she came to the Wisdom Builders Retreat in Bend, and she had an absolute blast. She's a brand new person, but she said she felt so welcome and enjoyed it so much. So Gloria, we'll turn it over to you, and if you could open our meeting in prayer for us, we'd appreciate it.
Would love to. Thank you for the honor. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this meeting. We thank you for the time that these folks have come together to discuss your truth that you have given us. We thank you for the scientific board who you have given them the ability to understand your mysteries that you have. We thank you for the opportunity to share this life-changing products with people that are hurting, that are having chronic diseases. And I pray, Father, that you would open the eyes and the ears today for the people that are here on the call, as well as others, so that we can see the things that we need to see in order to help ourselves and to those around us. Please be with us today. We thank you that you're here with us, and we just pray, Father, that you would help us to see what it is we need to see. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, so just a little bit about Alan and Nicole, for those of you who might not know them. Alan and Nicole are celebrities in the NeoLife world. Their talent, ability, skill level, and heartfelt enthusiasm and character have blessed many of us. They're so good, I've driven 1,000 miles round trip 3 times to attend their Breakfast of Champions. Our team loves attending their twice annual team retreats each spring and each fall. And we're going to have Nicole go first. So here's my intro for Nicole, and then we'll turn it over to her to tell us her amazing story. First speaker, Nicole, is as sweet as they come, beautiful and gorgeous inside and out. She's a mother of 6, wife of Alan, excellent athlete in college, very, very inspiring, warm, powerhouse speaker. She spent quite a few years homeschooling their children. Nicole has an amazing story. Please welcome a very sweet, remarkable person, Nicole Blain.
So much, Bob. That was so sweet. What a sweet intro. It's kind of echoey. Hopefully you guys could hear me okay. That's you, okay. So yeah, my story goes back. You just want me to share my health testimony? Yes. And how I got started on NeoLife. Okay. Well, as most know, we're very passionate about NeoLife, and for many reasons. But one, it drastically changed my life. I'm, like Bob said, we have 6 children. I'm almost 47 years old, and in my 20s, I had some major health problems. I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia at age 27. At the time, we had 3 small children. You know, it got worse. I remember going to my doctor, and when he diagnosed me, he said, you need to get on a good supplement, protein shake, which, you know, I remember we were living in Southern California at the time, went to Whole Food Market, tried to get the best, what I thought was the best, walking in there overwhelmed, as you all know, by the shelves all lined up with all these different supplements and protein shake, and did not know what to take, just grabbed what was, I thought was good, labeled natural. Went home, took it for several months, and it didn't help me whatsoever. And I tried other products out there, had well-meaning, relatives say, here, try this, try that. And also saw a holistic doctor. I thought, okay, for sure, if I go to a holistic doctor, my life's going to change now, and did it. And so I just really grew frustrated. Felt like there was no hope, and started getting other health issues. I got insomnia real bad, depression real bad, where I was suicidal, IBS so bad it sent me to the emergency room a few times, exaggerated PMS, my hormones were out of whack, and it was just this vicious cycle. And out of desperation, finally went to see a different doctor at this time, and got on 3 different medication. Took that for just a little bit because I did not like the side effects whatsoever. And so I stopped, the medication. And 2 weeks later, NeoLife came in my life, and I'm so grateful. Got started on the product. Within a few weeks, I'm very tuned into my body. So, I could tell my energy levels were, up a little bit. And in 3 months, the chronic fatigue was gone. And within 6 months, all of my other issues were gone. And that's why I am just so grateful to NeoLife and what it's done for me and for our family. And now, we are having so much fun doing this full time as a business and getting to help others, with health issues. And we're having so much fun. So yeah, that's my story.
So, some of the things you had, like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, people can suffer for decades with that, right?
Yes.
And what do you think is the most important things that helped you, get over that?
I am a firm believer in the Trianan and the salmon oil. That was huge, just upping my salmon. But in the beginning, I just took one salmon, and then slowly we added more later on. So, back then it was different. We didn't have the Pro Vitality, what we have now, but it was, the Formula 4, and then a protein shake is all I took in the beginning. And then we slowly added other things like extra salmon, and then of course the Beta Jess is all I took for the IBS. It wasn't even the Betazyme. So, and that helped me. That went away. That was a shocker for me when the IBS, because IBS was probably, it was horrible. The chronic fatigue, I would say, and the IBS were just horrible. The fibromyalgia, I feel like, it wasn't as bad as some people have it, but it was definitely in the beginning stages. It was painful where I'd scream out when Alan would be driving. I'd be like, ow, and he's like, oh. So.
And you didn't they induce one of your kids early because they thought you had stomach cancer or something like that?
No, we spent thousands and thousands of dollars on just, different tests and stuff. And the doctors did scare me at one point, saying they thought maybe I had stomach cancer. And so, but no, I did go in. It's interesting because we have 6 children, and that's what's so neat, is we have the 3 that, I didn't know about NeoLife. And so when I was pregnant with them, I went in preterm labor. All babies had jaundice. As far as the recovery time, it took me a long time to recover. And then with the last 3, our NeoLife babies, that we like to call them, the babies did not have jaundice. no preterm labor, except for Braden. My water did break, and I had him 6 weeks early, but he was completely healthy, lungs fully developed, and he weighed 6 pounds, 3 ounces. So, and I remember calling Marjorie Clark up, and I was panicking, saying, Marjorie, I'm going in I'm in labor, my water broke, I'm gonna have this baby. And she said, you know what, Nicole? Don't worry, all the women that I know that go in preterm labor that are on the NeoLife Shake and the Pro Vitality do just fine. The lungs are fully developed. And so she's gave me this piece like, okay, it's gonna be okay. And sure enough, after I had him, right after I had him, they were just, taking his vital signs and all that. And they said, this baby's fine. And he got to cuddle with me right away, and they didn't take him back. And yeah, everything. And I was released within 22 hours. So just amazing. And the other thing too is just the recovery time with the last 3. I remember telling Ellen, tell the church thank you so much, but they do not need to bring me a meal. I could literally cook dinner the next day. So I felt great. Like I could make the kids lunch. It was just like, boom, I was up. It was just amazing. Just seeing the difference.
Fantastic. And didn't you have postpartum depression with the first 3 and nothing with the last 3? Nothing?
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I forgot, that was a big one. So with the first 3, postpartum depression, very, very bad. Wow. And with the last 3, nothing. And if you look at pictures of me before and after, I just look healthier, way healthier. And as far as weight and all that, I just looked so unhealthy in those pregnancy, and I looked just more vibrant in the last 3 pregnancies. The way you should look,
Yeah. And in spite of Braden being, how early was he?
He was 6 weeks 6 weeks early because of my water broke.
Yeah.
So
but he was still fully developed and fine.
His lungs were fully developed. He was a super healthy boy.
Wow.
And the last 3, and that's another thing, is the last 3 a lot healthier. Yeah. They're sharper. I took a lot of salmon in those pregnancies too.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge, taking extra salmon. Just because I never want to go back to how I used to feel. So I'm a firm believer. I could probably only take 1, but I take 6 a day, and I probably always will.
Awesome. I remember once you told me once that you can't live without Trianan, Shake, and salmon oil. Are those the 3 most important, would you say?
Yes. For me, yes.
Yeah, for you.
I take extra Trianan.
Okay. How much?
Now I do. Back then it was just 1, just because I'm, my age. I'm coming into I'm pre-menopause, and so I take about 3 to 4.
Okay, great. Excellent.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Cheryl. May I ask a question?
Yeah, one question. Go for it, quick.
Okay. Did you have morning sickness with any of your 6 kids? And if you did you see a difference after you started NeoLife?
Yes, with the first 2, I don't remember with the third one. With the first 2, it was horrible. And with the last 3, no, I didn't have any morning sickness whatsoever. That was another thing.
That would be a very big selling point.
Yes.
Anybody else have one question you want to ask, Nicole?
I asked her what she's doing for beautiful skin.
Yeah, please do, Wayne. Yeah. Wayne wants to know what you do for your beautiful skin.
I already know.
Oh, that's easy. Nutrients. I use the Nutrients organic skincare set, marine base. It's wonderful. And I just shared it with 2 other ladies the other day, and they do rodent and fields, and they're going to switch over. They absolutely love it. So I highly recommend it. At least try it.
Okay, great. Would there be hope even for me, though?
Yeah. For everyone. Even Alan uses it.
Okay, well, Nicole, anything else you want to share last party? Is you have an amazing turnaround, dramatic change. Any last thoughts you want to share with us? Or?
Just that I am so grateful and thankful, and NeoLife has just, been a huge blessing in my life, and I feel like there's not enough time in a day to share it with others, to help others. That's, you know, huge for me. So, yeah, and if you guys, yeah, please share my story. Please share it. If you ever want to do a 3-way call, I'm here for you. I would love to do a 3-way call with another mama, or anyone else that has any type of chronic illness. Love to help y'all. So.
Thank you so much, Nicole. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
your help. Thank you. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Alan now. Alan is highly accomplished businessman, husband to Nicole, dad of 6 kids, all of which are boys except 5. Alan is I heard him introduce himself that way at the leadership school at Rossfield Estates. Alan is highly disciplined, laser focused, and superb communicator, an inspiring leader and a doer. Alan and Nicole lead one of the fastest growing, most successful businesses in NeoLife North America. For an outstanding champion focused businessman, he is also kind, gentle, warm, humble, and gracious. We're so blessed to know Alan and Nicole, and I try to be at their trainings anytime I possibly can. Alan and Nicole built their 3 Ruby business working part-time to the $100,000 per year income level in only 16 months. Get ready for some phenomenal wisdom and practical tips, and please help me welcome 3 Ruby, Alan Blain.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. It's great to see what an amazing turnout you have here for your Breakfast of Champions. I am impressed. We knew Bob was up to some great things. I say Bob and his team. I know Barbara is one of his key leaders, and the Hansons and several others of you, I'm sure. I know I'm missing people. Sorry, not trying to name everybody. But anyway, I know that I knew you guys were up to some really good, big things. I didn't realize how big, I guess, until I got on this call this morning. So one thing I would like to say, Bob is more than gracious. Any of you that know him well, which is probably all of you or most of you, know that I feel like one of Bob's gifts is, among many, is words of affirmation and encouragement and building others up. And I value that so much. I mean, even like what he says about Nicole and I, it's like, or Nicole and me, is that proper grammar? It's just more than we deserve. And I just think that I'm so excited to get to, even though we don't benefit financially from one another's business, because we're not directly involved in each other's business, I feel like our business is blessed tremendously just by acquaintance with Bob. And I just want to tell you all, if you don't know already, how blessed you are to have Bob as one of the leaders in your organization, because Bob is incredible. Wouldn't want to be doing this business without Bob. So thank you for letting me come on here. Thank you for letting us share. We are very passionate about what we talk about, and it's why I do what we do. It's why Nicole and I do what we do. Previous to NeoLife, I was in real estate, and we were building probably 30 homes a year before the market crashed in 2008, and then we just, God blessed us to be one of the few builders that could survive that terrible market, but not only survive it, but thrive in it, because we immediately, by the end of 2008, we're going to auction, buying homes, flipping homes, and we just kind of shifted our focus to flipping instead of building. Instead of building 3 homes a month, we started flipping about 20 homes a month, and had our best years ever in 9, 10, 11, 12, and all that. But the only reason I'm even mentioning that to you is because that did not do anything for me really impactful in my life, other than make some pretty good money doing it. But money in and of itself isn't impactful at all. It's what we can do with money and our time. And in this business, regardless of how quote unquote financially successful somebody is, and what's cool is anybody can be, and many do, the impact that we get to experience from helping others in this way is way beyond providing a home for them. I wasn't providing homes for homeless. If people wouldn't have bought my home, they would have bought someone else's home. It wasn't really life impacting. If someone hadn't shared NeoLife with Nicole 19 years ago, I mean, they did. So it was very life impacting. It's just a totally different business. And that's why I'm so passionate about it and excited about it. Bob asked me to talk today about how to the importance of having a vision for your future business, current and future business, and how to use the new business webinar that just launched about a month ago to help attract and recruit, if you will, other business partners so that we can duplicate ourselves, leverage our efforts, and impact 10x, 100x, 1000x the amount of lives with partners that we could by ourselves. So that's the context of what I'd like to share, that Bob asked me to share. And on that note, I just want to say too, don't prejudge who is and who isn't interested in the business. I had an example where I didn't prejudge, okay? I went 3 years ago and talked to this person, and I knew they were searching for a different career, and they were in the banking industry, and I approached them about our business. They had zero interest, okay? They're good family friends of ours. Zero interest. I get a text from this guy. So I didn't prejudge originally, but I did assume that because he said no 3 years ago, that the no 3 years ago was a no still today, which was a bad assumption on my part. 3 years is a long time not to ask again, hey, where are you at? Are you open? Has anything changed? Because I got a text from him 2 days ago with a link to his new website with some MLM travel company that he's all excited about. And that's going to be his future. And I responded to him with, I'm not really interested in looking at that. I thought you weren't open. Like, I talked to you about my business 3 years ago. He goes, yeah, 3 years ago I wasn't. A lot's changed. Apparently so. I learned a lesson right there. I was reminded of something I did know, but I didn't execute. So before I talk about the webinar, though, I'd like to just share the importance of a vision. I see this all the time. I have somebody in my business that says he really loves his job. And I told him a couple days ago, I said, I can't wait for the day that you're making, $20,000 a month in NeoLife. And this person's been in the NeoLife business for about 9 months or less than a year. I said, I can't wait for the day when you're making $20,000 a month in NeoLife, and you get to choose whether you keep your job or not. We'll see how much you love your job. Like, if you really love your job, then you'll keep doing it when you're making 20 grand a month, then maybe you will. I don't know. I'm not answering the question for you, but I look forward to finding out how much you love your job when you're making 20 grand a month with NeoLife. And he goes, well, when you put it that way, he responded back to me. He's like, oh, when you put it that way, I forget exactly how he said it, but essentially, I don't love my job that much. Like, that would be nice. I'm like, well, here's the point. And the reason I'm telling you all that little story is his vision can't see today NeoLife business replacing his full-time business. And seriously, not everybody's been called to do a NeoLife business, and I know that. Not everybody's called to be full-time in NeoLife. Some of us may be called to do it on a little part-time basis, and maybe it's $1,000 a month extra, whatever, to support whatever it's doing. That's great, but that's why I asked the question. Like, okay, if you were making that kind of money, would you still be doing your job? Do you still think you would be doing that? And here's the point: is that his vision wasn't big enough to see what I saw. I can see very easily that being a reality for him. But I only see that being a reality for him if he sees it being a reality for him, because I can assure you, if he can't see it being a reality for him, it will never happen. And the reason it'll never happen is without a vision, okay, we can't give what we don't have, and we can't communicate or teach what we don't know. I mean, that's just basic 2 + 2. We all know that. So if we can't see a vision and believe it, not just some pie in the sky vision that's not reality, but something that we can clearly in our mind's eye see and believe and go for and believe God's called us for, if we're believers, if we don't have that, how in the world do we attract other people to this. I mean, every great leader throughout history started with a vision. And then once they had the vision, they were able to communicate it in their day-to-day lives as it was, as was opportunity to do so. And through that communication is when people come on board and go, I want to be a part of this movement, whatever the movement is. You can choose a lot through history, and I can think of a lot of examples. And so anyway, but it starts with the vision. So we're only going to attract other people to our business to want to partner with us if we have a vision that we can then communicate that is then attractive to someone else. Does that at least make sense so far of why that's so important? Because I think there's a lot of people that want other business partners to see what they saw or what they think they see in this business, this opportunity, this amazing opportunity we have, or anyone of any background, any race, any age, any business experience, no business experience, communication skills of all levels. I mean, there's examples of everyone under the sun, people that can't even speak. They have an interpreter helping them communicate to people that are building multiple six-figure businesses around the world, seven-figure businesses. I mean, there's nobody that's hearing this message that's like, I've got this handicap, I've got this disadvantage of whatever it might be. That there is none. There's somebody that has it worse than everyone on this call that has already done it in this industry, and probably with our company. So anyway, so got to have a vision, got to be able to communicate it. That's the way we're going to attract other people to the vision. And that ties into using this business webinar. If we're not excited about where we're heading, if we're not excited about these exciting things the company's doing, then we're going to have trouble getting somebody to even want to waste, because that's what it's going to feel like. It's feel like a waste of their time, invest their time into even spending 40 minutes watching a webinar. Okay, so I'm having a blast talking to people about the webinar and getting people to watch it. And I'll just share with you how I'm doing it. And then Bob, I don't know if we'll have any time, but if I can do this fairly quickly, then if there's questions, I'm happy to try to answer them. Who am I going to, who would I recommend you talking to about the business? Bear with me as I put this out there, and I'll come back and explain. There's two categories of people in the world, in your life. There's what we call warm market. Those are people you know, people you have a relationship with of some sort. And there's what we call cold market, strangers. And just keep in mind that a stranger is a friend you haven't met yet. Every warm market person probably at one point was a cold market person until they became a warm market person because their relationship happened through some manner. But those are the two categories of people in our life, okay? Everyone falls into one of those two categories. I'm saying both categories, and it's a little different how we would approach the two different categories, but I'm approaching both. And if I'm approaching warm, okay, let's say you're approaching family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, things like that. I like to just share with them, because I've got a vision and I'm excited to begin with. Not hypey, just excited of where I'm heading and where we as a team, as a company, where we're heading is. And most people aren't, right? Most people aren't excited about their job. Most people aren't excited about the vision of where their corporation is going, or where their hospital is going, or where their whatever organization is going that they work at. They just aren't. It's just a job. And so I would recommend, and I do this, is I'm identifying who do I know, who I want to work with. Who do I want to work with? Who do I want to see their smiling face on Zoom calls like this every week? Who do I want to see hang out with in Phoenix at the convention here in July, at the Arizona Biltmore, $400 a night hotel for $120 a night? Like, who do I want to hang out with? Who do I want to go to Hawaii with in October? I know I get to go with Barbara and Bob on this call. And I mean, it's just like, who are those kind of people? So I'm going to go talk to them. And what am I going to say? I'm just going to let them know that they may or may not even know what I do. By the way, don't think that people know what you do. Like, I was having this conversation. Well, all my friends and family know I do NeoLife. Oh, they do? What's NeoLife? What's NeoLife? What do they think NeoLife is? Oh, you're a vitamin salesman to one. You're one of those pyramid things to another. Who knows what they think? They don't even know NeoLife. They don't know this family. They don't even know the products. They've never used them. They don't know NeoLife. So don't assume people know what you do. They might think they know what you do, but they don't know what you do. So, hey, Barbara, as you know, let's say Barbara is one of my friends. She is one of my friends because of this business. What a great blessing. I mean, I'm 47 years old, and I have made more friends in 4 years. We've been taking the products for 19 years. We've been doing this business for 4 years. In March was 4 years. So a little over 4 years. And we've been full-time almost 3 years. Here in July, it'll be 3 years. But in 4 years of doing this business, we have made literally way more friends in 4 years than I did in the first 42 years of my life. And I thought I had plenty of friends to begin with. So, and not that I was feeling like I needed more, but it's been a huge blessing I didn't even know that was out there. But anyway, so Barbara, as you may know, I work with a 61-year-old international company in the health and wellness field. I'm actually, there's no magic words. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of how this might look. I'm just a quick summary of what I'm doing, okay, with this company. And we're doing some really exciting things, okay? Again, let's communicate what we're doing. We're doing some really exciting things, okay? We're up to some really exciting things. And I'm actually in the process, you could say I'm in the process of expanding my business. Our company is in the process of a major expansion across North America and beyond, however you want to say that. And I was thinking about, who do I know, not that needs more money, not that needs a job, who do I know? I want to give someone a sincere compliment if I genuinely can. So I'm thinking, who do I know that I'd like to spend more time with? Who do I know that I think has what it takes to really succeed and have fun doing this with us? Who do I know that would value the community and the culture that our company is all about, of serving and helping and giving? And I already said this, but who do I just want to hang with more? You, Barbara. So I have a question for you. Are you, and these are the key, now this is a key phrase, okay? This is super key. Are you at all, I just wanted to ask you a simple question for you, okay? Are you at all open, you keep an open mind, you could say it that way too, but are you at all open to making money, Barbara, outside of what you're currently doing in the nursing field, if it didn't interfere with what your current career? Who says no to that? Are you at all open? Simple question for you, Barbara, after I've just complimented her, just built her up, told her why I'm even asking the question, the context of it. I'm going somewhere, we're going somewhere, we're excited, and I'm thinking, who else do I want to go on this journey with me? Are you at all open in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing as a nursing professional, if it didn't interfere with your current career? Yes or no, right? Of course, she's going to say yes. What she's really going to say is, because I've done this enough, is, well, yeah, I mean, it depends. What is it? Well, maybe. What is it? Well, what do you got? I mean, it's going to be one of those responses. It's not going to be, nope. If it doesn't interfere with what I'm currently doing, I don't want more money. No. Who would say no to that? So that's what they're going to say. So then just be prepared with the answer. Well, maybe, Alan, it depends. What is it? I work with, and now I already, in a cold market scenario, they're always going to ask that, and they don't know, because I don't normally start with, I work with a 61-year-old international company, blah, blah, blah. So we're gonna, okay, so the answer to that would be, what is it? What do you do? Again, I work with a 61-year-old international company in the health and wellness space, okay, in the health and wellness industry, whatever word you want to use. Based out of Silicon Valley in California. It's an international company doing some really exciting things. So now I answered her question very generally. I didn't get off in the weeds, and I didn't even give the name of the company. I don't want Google to answer her questions. I want to answer her questions. So again, Google, oh, vitamin company. Now I know what it is. Oh, it's an Advocare, it's an Isogenics, it's an Amway, it's a this. No, it's not, but that's what they might think. So I just said what I said, a general answer to her, and I'm always answering her question with an answer and a question. So I told Barbara the answer to her question, and I said, are you open? I'm going to repeat my question back to you. Are you open to at least taking a look? And then she's going to say, yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, maybe. Yeah. What, how, yes. Or she's going to say, the only other follow-up question is going to be, what's the name of the company? They may or may not ask that. And if they ask me the name of the company, I'm going to tell them the name of the company. I'm not avoiding questions. I'm not skating around things. The Bible says a fool tells all. So I'm just being wise about how much I'm giving at different points in time. So when she says, yeah, but what's the name of the company? Well, the name of the company, this is the cool part. Been around 61 years, as I said, in 51 countries around the world, and you've probably never even heard their name, even though they're headquartered here in California. I'm not in California, I'm in Nashville. Here in the States, the name of the company is NeoLife. And now watch this. I answered it, and I'm going to ask a question. Because if all you do is answer a question and then you're quiet, what's going to happen? Next question is going to come at you, and you're going to answer it, and you're quiet. And then the next question, well, what kind of products do they do? Oh, they're this kind of products, and you're quiet. Oh, well, how long have they been around? And you're going to answer it, and then they're just going to keep coming with questions. So you answer the question, you turn around, and you ask the same question again. So what's the name of the company? Yeah, maybe. She says, what's the name of the company? It's NeoLife. Have you ever heard of them? No, I haven't. Exactly. Nobody has. They've been around 61 years. It's why it's such an incredible opportunity. I can't wait for you to learn about it if you're open. Let me ask you. Now, I've already asked her twice, is she open? I've answered 2 questions already. So at this point, I'm just going to say straight out, if I sent you a link to a webinar we have coming up that's going to explain all these answers and even more, here's my question again. Are you open to learning about it? Again, I'd love to work with you. And here's the thing. Barbara, I don't know if it's a fit for you or not. And I'll tell people this. There's no hard sell here. I mean, I don't say that. I'm telling this to you. There's no hard sell here. What I say to her is, I don't know if this is a fit for you or not. Of course, I guess you wouldn't know until you learn about it. I would love for you just to watch this. And here's the cool part. If you're open to watching it, I can send you a link to register for an upcoming webinar. And here's the cool part. Either A, you're going to get as excited about it as I am about it. And we're going to get to have some fun together, creating an impact, making money, doing this together. Or B, you might think of somebody else that this would be perfect for, even if it's not for you, right? That's okay. It's not for everybody. Or C, at least you'll know why I'm so passionate about it, and you'll totally know what I'm all about, like what I'm doing here on this. You might think you've known and all this, but you won't know until you watch this webinar. But after the webinar, at least you'll know why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. Like, it's a win-win-win. Doesn't matter if it's for you, doesn't matter if it's for a friend you think of, a referral, or if it's for nobody you know. At least because we're friends, you're going to walk away going, hey, now I know why Barbara or why Alan is so excited about what he's doing. I mean, there's no pressure in that, is there? Can you guys kind of see how there's no pressure in that? Like, I'm not going to my friends and family trying to twist their arm and tell them they got to join my business at all. So if you can see it like that, because that's the reality of it in my world anyway, from my perspective, then why wouldn't we go to every family and friend and anybody with a business approach like that? If there's somebody we can sincerely compliment, if there's somebody we'd sincerely want to see their face on a Zoom, if there's someone we'd sincerely want to show up at events with us, if they're not, then don't go to them. There's a couple people I wouldn't want in my business, and I haven't talked to them about it for that reason. But most people in my life are in my life because I enjoy them, and I would. So why wouldn't I invite them? So they don't end up like my friend that I was just talking about earlier, who's now in another company that I know is not as good a company. His odds of success is not nearly as good as had he partnered with us at NeoLife, and I know that. But I didn't talk to him for 3 years, didn't invite him for 3 years, and I did him a disservice. So hopefully that makes sense. The only difference with the cold market, by the way, is I'm not going to tell a server, a waitress, a waiter at a restaurant who I don't know and go through this process with, which I do, by the way, all the time. I'm not going to tell them at the end, and by the way, Sally, I will tell them this. And by the way, I don't know if it's a fit for you or not, but after you review the information of this upcoming webinar we're doing, and they don't have to know it's a recording, by the way. It's an upcoming webinar that we are doing. It's scheduled at different times. If you don't know, it's Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Different days on those different times on those 3 days. and you can access the link to register at neolifeevents.com. And I'd highly recommend you register the person. So if I'm talking to Barbara, and okay, I'm going to come back to how to register the person. That'll be what I'll close with. Let me finish this thought with the server. So when I'm talking to Sally, I might say, Sally, you've done an amazing job serving us tonight. I really value good service. I mean, I sincerely do. There's just not enough good servers in the world. And when I come across them, I so appreciate them. So it's really easy for me to say this to a server or anyone that's in a service type role, any kind of role that's serving others. I really appreciate this. I got a question for you. I want to let you know, we are in the process of expanding our business right here in this area. What area is that? It's wherever I am. It's wherever you are. There is your business, and there you are. If you're talking to someone, you're expanding it. Does that make sense? I'm in the process actually of expanding our business as we speak right here in this area. And I'm looking for people like you to partner with, to work with, to help. You're the type of, I don't know you well, obviously, but just from what I've seen, you're the kind of person I think I would really like in my business. Let me ask you a question. Do you keep your options open to making money outside of your career as a server here if it didn't interfere with your current job? Of course she's going to say, well, yeah, what is it? You know, what do you got? Well, I work with a 61-year-old international company based out of Silicon Valley, global company, doing some amazing things in the health and wellness space. I don't know if health and wellness interests you or not, but that's what we do. And it's really exciting. We're having a blast doing it. Are you open to learning about it? See, I'm going to end with a question. You open to learning about it? Well, I don't know. What's the name of the company? That's another great thing. It's a 61-year-old company. Nobody's even heard the name. It's called NeoLife. And it's another reason why you'll learn in the webinar, or if you take the time to learn about what we're doing, you'll see it's a pretty exciting opportunity. Are you open to learning about it? Yeah, I might be. Okay, well, if I sent you a webinar or a link to an upcoming webinar we're doing, I don't have time right now. I know you're working. I got to run. If she's got time, I've got to run. One of us is going to have to run. I'm not going to get into this with them. I've got to run. You're working. I don't have time to go into all the details, but we've actually got a webinar coming up really soon, like in a couple days. Actually, we're doing them a couple different days this week, in fact, 3 different days this week. If you'd be open to learning about it, I would love to send you a link, get you registered for it, and if you're open to learning about it. If not, that's fine too. Would you like to learn about what we're doing? Yeah, okay, great. Cool. Now, this is the part that's different than warm market. It's great. Now, I don't know if it's a fit for you or not. Okay, give me your, I need your number and your email address, and I'll get you registered for it. And then we're going to go into a triple opt-in of what time. Okay, we're going to end with that. But what I say with cold market is, I don't know if it's a fit for you or not, but the cool part is, after you review this and watch this webinar, even if you find it's not a fit for you, you're probably going to get really excited about it like most people do. But let's say you don't. You might think of someone else this would be that I should talk to, that this would be a perfect fit for. And in that case, I would love to talk to them. So again, I've taken that pressure off them. They can take my call, my follow-up text, whatever it is, and not know I'm not married to the fact they've got to be in my business. But the only difference with warm and cold market is I'm not going to say, and by the way, Sally, if it's not for you or someone you know, at least you'll know why I'm so passionate about it. She doesn't even know me. Why would she care what I'm passionate about? That's one difference between cold and warm market, if that makes sense. I wanted to get that out. Took me a while, sorry. So I wouldn't say that to a stranger. I would say that to a friend, though. Now, the triple opt-in. So how do I get them on the webinar? I'm going to say, Sally. She says yes. I say, Sally, awesome. What is today, Saturday? Today's Saturday. You know what? We're actually doing this webinar to explain more about it. As I said, we're going through an expansion right now. So we're in the process of bringing on some strategic partners like potentially you to help with our expansion. We're doing webinars. This webinar, we're going to run it this Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at multiple times, actually, because we know everyone's schedule is a little different. No Sunday morning because of church, but like Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. And then Tuesday and Thursday, we've got a morning, afternoon, and evening time. Which of those 3 days is best for you? Oh, you work Sunday. Tuesday's best for you. Okay, Tuesday. So morning, noon, or evening. Oh, you sleep in because you work late. Oh, okay, so more like afternoon. Okay, afternoon. Let's see. Afternoon, you're in California, so Pacific time. So afternoon, 3 p.m. or, well, there's one at noon, there's one at 3 p.m., and there's one at 6 p.m. in the afternoon. That's your options. What would you, 3 p.m.? Okay, tell you what, I just need your email address to register you. And anyway, I'll get her contact information, and I'll send you a link and blah, blah, blah. So then I get her contact information. I go to neolifeevents.com. I click register. I enter her name and her email address, and I register her. I don't count on her doing it. I do it. And then I tell her, great. So you know what? I'll register you for Tuesday at 3 o'clock. It's going to be, it shouldn't last even 40 minutes, probably less than 40 minutes. It's a very short, for a webinar, very short webinar, but I think you're going to really enjoy it. And then let's touch base, you know, right afterwards, and just, you know, I'd love to hear your initial thoughts and what might have stood out to you. So 3:45 or whatever. Would you mind just shooting me a text or giving me a call when you're done? And just giving me your quick initial thoughts on it. Oh yeah, I can do that. Okay, great. And hopefully she does, but if she doesn't, have I not calendared it? Am I not shooting her a text or calling her at 3:45 on Tuesday, maybe 3:50? I might give her a few minutes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And the cool part about this is the last person last week that I got on this webinar was very interested in the business, but not ready to start the business. So he ended up starting as a club member, a customer. I don't care how I get customers. I don't care if I get customers by talking to sick people, or I get customers by talking to people. This was my son's basketball coach. I'm like, you know what? I'd love to work with someone like you. Do you keep an open mind to, you know, earning income outside of what you're currently doing as a basketball coach and a preschool teacher? Well, yeah, I do, as a matter of fact, you know. So, but anyway, he signed up as a club member. So I approached him with the business and got a customer out of it. And that's going to happen a lot too, as well. So hopefully that's helpful. I don't know if I went way over time, Bob. Hopefully we're doing okay on time, but there's more I could say, but I better not. I better just stop there, turn it back over to you. And if you want to ask any questions, go for it. Or if you need to move on, that's great too.
Well, since we have such a wonderful resource, I think we should ask questions. So if anybody has some, anybody want to ask Alan something? Great job, Alan. Thank you so much for the interaction and role play. It was awesome.
You're so welcome. You want me to spend 2 minutes showing you a couple screenshots on the Team NeoLife app?
Yeah. Well, and did you already talk about the Facebook thing? Because I had to leave for.
Oh, no, I didn't at all. I just wanted to let everybody know that we have a Facebook group called Wisdom Builders Health, and it's private. It's Facebook calls it secret. It's a private group that you can't find. Like if you search for it, you won't be able to find it. Somebody in the group has to add you to it, and then the only way you can get people in it is you add them to it, and you can do that. But I just want to make sure everybody on Bob's team was aware of that group, because it's a concept that a lot of people are using. I won't go into the training, but basically it's a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week, in any time zone, online. It's not a meeting, but I'll call it that, a meeting where people in different time zones at any time of the day are being exposed to other people's stories, their testimonials, their product experience. And there are people that have literally built $200,000 a month incomes. I'll say that again, $200,000 a month incomes within about 5-year time period, 6-year time period, solely and strictly using this technique. I'll say. And I'm not advocating you solely and strictly use this technique. What I'm super excited about is adding another tool into our arsenal of educational tools and resources to help promote these amazing products we all believe in a much more effective way. And so if you don't know about that Facebook group, I would highly recommend you learning about it. But I wanted just to at least some of you are already a part of it. So I want to let you know, it is not a place to ask questions. What do you take for this? What do you take for colitis? No, it's not that. It's not a place to talk promoter talk like we're doing today. It is, envision this, a meeting where we invite all of our friends and people we know to learn about NeoLife. They're not on NeoLife. They're learning about NeoLife, a prospecting group, if you will, for the product, not the business, for the product. Okay, so I'm switching gears here. Where if we're doing it right and we're all contributing, and when we hear someone share their blood work numbers improved after being on NeoLife for 2 months or 2 years or whatever, and say, hey, Mary, that's awesome. Will you share that into this Facebook group? Can you picture a community like that where all this positive product testimonials and some training and stuff on health topics in general, like Bob's interview. We did Bob's interview in there on depression and his story of overcoming that years ago. I did a live interview in that group. By the way, since doing that interview, okay, great example of why I'm excited about this. Nicole and I personally added about 20 people to the group leading up to Bob's interview. 20 people we've talked to, people that were kind of curious about learning about NeoLife. They were prospects. They weren't just random strangers we threw in the group. Okay, don't do that, please. They were prospects. 20 we added, did the interview with Bob. Bob crushed it. Thank you, Bob. We've signed up 5 of them as club members, 1 of them as a promoter in the last week and a half or 2 weeks since the interview, 2 weeks or whatever it's been. That's the power of that group, because people are seeing other people's stories. Okay, so I want you to know to be aware of it, to benefit your own business, to use it that way. And secondly, to let you all know, since I have this platform, it's not the place to talk promoter talk. And just envision it as a meeting where it's full of prospects sitting in a room. What would you stand up and say? If you wouldn't stand up and say it in front of a bunch of prospects, you wouldn't say it in the group. What you would want people saying in front of your prospects in a room is exactly what you would say in the group, if that makes sense. I hope that's a way to articulate it maybe. And I emailed Bob a link to a 45-minute webinar I did, detailed training on how you build a business using a Facebook group like that. So if Bob wants to share that to you, he can. I sent it to him this morning. Anyway, it's a link that's not public out there, but he has the link, and so he can share that with you or whatever if he wants to do that. So yeah, that's that. And then, okay, back to the Team NeoLife app. I just wanted to share with you real quick when I'm well, I don't know if we want to take the time to do this.
Yeah, go ahead. And also,
okay.
Alan, aren't there some good articles on that Facebook group? Seems like you had some good articles in there too.
Yes, thank you. There's some great articles on the Facebook group. In fact, several of the articles are some ones that Bob had sent me on different research that he's been compiling over the years. And the cool thing about Facebook groups is they just switched it a couple months ago to where you can set your Facebook group up as what's called a social learning group. So now there's a tab in the Facebook groups, our Facebook group, that says learning. And when you click on learning, you can set up, you can create modules. I mean, colleges could start using, they probably are using Facebook groups, because you can set up modules that the students have to go through in a particular order. So we're not making anyone go through it. We've set it as optional, but now we've got it categorized by like research. There's a module on non-NeoLife research. And if you click on that, a bunch of those articles came from Bob. So you can explore that if you're not a part of that group. And if you are not a part of the group, ask, I think some of the Hansons are a part of the group. Bob's part of the group. So someone can get you guys in it if you want to get in it. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you this. That's a screenshot from the Team NeoLife app. I recommend registering people for that business webinar like I explained to you by going to neolifeevents.com and registering them yourself with their name and their email after you've confirmed the date and time they want. But I just wanted you to know on the Team NeoLife app, if you send someone, it's under images, if you send them this startup webinar is what it's called. The business webinar is named Startup Webinar. And if you send that to them, they can click on that link and register themselves. And of course, you'll get notified as soon as they click on the link. So that's kind of cool with the app. If you didn't know that technology, that global study right there is worth clicking on and reading. It's incredible. Global study finds what we aren't eating is killing us, talking about whole grains and wheat. It's awesome. So I want to show you that. The next screenshot I'll show you real quick is if you go on that under images, if you go scroll all the way to the right and click see all, like that, what you're going to find there is all the images. But what you may not know is you can click the top right corner where it says filter right here, and you can filter it by, because there's a lot of images and sometimes it seems a little daunting, but you can, once you click filter, then you can filter it by any of these categories. But the category I wanted to point out to you is, how about alphabetical? I like that, A to Z. Then it's alphabetical. As long as you know the name of it, real easy to find. And the business webinar is called, I just told you what it's called. What's it called? Startup, startup, something or other. Okay, so then you see I filtered it by A to Z. This is S's. I'm in the S's, and startup webinars right there in the S's. So that filter feature is something that I just learned about fairly recently. And the last screenshot I have for you is, if under images as well, this is still under images. Okay, under images. I filtered it by alphabetical. So now we're TUVW. If you're ever looking for the shareneolife.com presentation, that 30-minute health talk webinar, it's called Web Health Talk. So W is where you'll find it on A to Z. There it is. You can text the link to somebody to watch the shareneolife.com. So a little app training of stuff we've learned recently too, Bob. A little bonus there for you. That's all.
You know, I do have one other thing, Alan.
Yeah.
You know, you are making phenomenal, extraordinary money in real estate, but I've never heard a guy like you talk like this. It really cracked me up. You said that you were essentially unemployed until the next house sold. That really cracked me up when you said that. Like, it seemed like you were saying that although the money was remarkable, if your activity stopped, then the income would stop, right? Is that what you were saying by that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was no residual income in it other than the properties I invested in as rentals. You know, that's one form of residual income, but the day-to-day income I was creating, you know, my day job, yeah, I would sell a home that we would build or flip or whatever, and that was income, and it only lasted until I made another sell.
Right.
So yeah, there was no residual income in it, and that's what's so beautiful about this business. I mean, we literally took off 30 days for an entire month a couple years ago, and that our income went up that month, you know, from the month previous. So it's just it's really great on so many levels. The residual side of it, the impact side of it. I was just talking to, I approached a loan officer, a mortgage officer, 3 days ago, about the things I'm teaching you is the things we're doing. And she is she made the loan on this home I'm living in here, and she's crushing it. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars she makes a year. I don't know. I haven't asked her, but I know how many loans she's doing, so I know it's a lot. She's got 2 young children. She's married. She messaged me back at 12:30 at night. She said, I'm just getting ready to pull in the driveway. Okay. She's paying the price for that income big time. So I simply asked her, and there's no residual in that, right? She's got to keep. So I simply, I said, you know, Cindy, I'd love to have someone like you. Same old thing. I'd love to have someone with your work ethic, someone like you in my business. And I think you do really well. Are you at all open-minded to creating another income stream outside of what you're doing as a loan officer if it didn't interfere with your current career and it could meet or exceed your current income and you wouldn't have to be working till 12:30 at night to continue it for the next however many decades of your life? Or, I mean, I guess what I'm also asking is, do you see yourself doing that 5 years from now? Like, are you still going to be grinding it like that 5 years from now? Or, I mean, do you love it? I mean, I think you like it, but like, do you see yourself doing that 5 years from now? And it's like, no, I don't really see myself doing this 5 or 10 years from now, because my kids aren't getting any younger and I know they need my time. I know it's not sustainable. And so that opened up the door. But there's just a lot of people that are in that same situation, Bob. I think that, you know, they might be making great money. Not that there's that many people making great money, but there's people out there making great money, but most of them do not have time to go with it. And to have the ability to make, amazing money in this industry with NeoLife and have total time freedom and flexibility, and just as important to me, if not more so, is to be able to do something that's impactful. If she didn't make those loans, someone else would get them. If I didn't build a house, somebody else will. But if we don't share NeoLife with someone, there's no guarantee they're ever going to hear about it. So, I mean, on all three levels, the impact, the time freedom, and the residual income, it's just, it blows my mind. It's such an exciting opportunity.
Yeah, and literally saving lives. Like, wouldn't you say, I saved my life, wouldn't you say it saved Nicole's life too?
Yep.
So, yeah,
Yep.
saved your life. And then I was thinking that it's not that a person in real estate or car sales or computers or appliances, it's not like they can't make great money, but the residual factor is not there, which
Right.
you can offer people, right?
Exactly. And, you know, I mean, I'm thankful there's other people building homes and being doctors and, you know, selling cars. And I mean, we need, you know, I know that kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I know God doesn't call everyone to do full-time the same thing, or we'd have trouble making the world go around, you know? So I don't think that, but at the same time, I feel super blessed to get to have the opportunity to do. So I'm thankful that some people are very content selling cars or building homes or doing whatever they do. I'm very thankful for that. And that's why I just like to ask the question of that lady, hey, do you see yourself doing this 5 or 10 years from now? If she loves coming home at midnight and that's the life she wants 10 years from now, when her 8 and 7-year-old kid are, you know, 15 and 13 or whatever, and she wants that, I'm not going to try and change her mind. But I know I've got a better way if she wants it.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Josh has a question.
Just a quick question. Thank you very much, Alan, to you and Nicole for your guys' time. We really, really appreciate it. And I know that what you've been saying right now is focused on the business aspect, but are you primarily approaching people with the business opportunity now, or are you still utilizing both the health aspect, just focus on the health, or like do you separate or distinguish from the two?
No, it's both. I'm going through connecting with people and building relationships, and my goal in life is to make, you know, 1 million friends, so to speak. I just want to make 1 million friends and let God use those relationships however he wants to take them, twist them, you know, take and twist and turn sounds bad, huh? But, you know, whatever path those might take, maybe there's some way I'm going to bless their life, and maybe there's some way they're going to bless my life, and I'm not, it may be NeoLife and it may not. In the course of building relationships with people, and the more the better now, God's changed my way of thinking because of this business, is that probably equally I hear, and you guys can probably relate with this, I hear the needs for the health. People talking about their energy, people talking about their headaches, people talking about their this, that, and the other, their blood work they just got, and their cholesterol levels. So I'm going to go start talking about the product. I'm going to lead with the health side of things in those cases. Okay. I am all the time, but just as much time I hear people talking about, I don't have time and I don't have this, and the kid running the kids ragged and getting off work and trying to go get dinner and get the kid to soccer. It's like, well, I'm going to lead with business. I'm going to ask a question. So what if there was a solution to the need I heard? It could be product, it could be business. Okay. So I hear both, but I never am going to walk up to someone cold turkey and say, you know what? I would love to sell you some products. You look like the kind of person I'd love to be my customer. You look like you need to lose some weight. I don't know, whatever it is. I would never do that. But I will do that with the business. And that's why I love the business so much. I can approach anybody I want to go to Hawaii with and say, I would love to have you in my business. Let me ask you a question. Are you at all open to making money outside of what you're currently doing as a nurse if it didn't interfere with your current career? See what I mean? So I can cold market that. I can just go out of the blue with that. I can't with health. So in that case, always business. But in the case of life, either or, whatever the need arises, whatever I hear in my friendships that I'm building.
Anybody else? Anybody? Well, Alan, thank you so much. And Nicole, too, thank you so much, both of you, for sharing.
Very welcome. Thank you for having us, Bob. Thank you. It's great to see some old friends, Jill, Barbara, Hansons. Thank you for Gina. Good to see you all. Can't wait to see you. Brent, look forward to meeting you. I see a similar last name there, so I'm thinking there's some relation. Anyway, great to see all of you. I've seen more of those that we haven't met yet.
Thank you so much.